Coming up on Hoosier Sports Night, the tailspin continues for IU football as injuries and losses keep piling up for Tom Allen's team. Find out how they fared against Ohio State.
And the men's soccer team's win and shutout streaks continue. This is Hoosier Sports Night.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier Sports Night. I'm Kevin VERA.
And I'm Lauren Boer.
Let's get right into it. IU football hosted Ohio State this past Saturday in front of a sold-out crowd. The Hoosiers were hoping to replicate last year's effort and capture a big win. Instead, it looked a lot more like 2019 against the Buckeyes. Our football beat reporters Will Trubshaw and Noah Harrison have more.
Inside Memorial Stadium after the 54-7 beatdown at the hands of number 5 Ohio State, Indiana losing again, falling to 2-5. And Noah, in this one, it just felt like everything that could go wrong did go wrong again for the Hoosiers. Injuries, poor defense, and the offense, again, just not able to get anything going. They score on their first drive, and they didn't really do much else after that. Outgained 539 yards to 128.
Yeah, just like you said, it was just a tough situation all the way around. The Hoosiers have struggled to just gel and come together and form the big, strong team that they could possibly be. And we saw that continue, as you said, with Jack Tuttle being injured early on. They just struggled all the way through.
Yeah, indeed. Grant Gremmel, the fourth-string quarterback, having to step in along with Donovan McCulley today, and then no Taiwan Mullen or Reese Taylor for second straight game. So big parts of the secondary missing. Tom Allen visibly upset after the game, just not the performance the Hoosiers were hoping for against their rivals from Ohio.
And right now, the injuries continue to mount, and the disappointments have continued. And so you got to be able to fall back on who you are and what you are made of.
Yeah, of course, Indiana now 2-5, and just 5 games remaining on the schedule. If they want to make a bowl game, they'll have to win 4 out of their last 5. And it'll be a pretty tough stretch. They go on the road to Maryland, then Michigan. They'll have a couple of games at home against Minnesota and Rutgers before finishing the season at Purdue.
Yeah, and those are must-win games, and they're capable of winning those games. All of our losses have come from ranked teams so far. Most of those are not ranked teams, all except for Michigan. So they have the opportunity to make a change for the season. It's not over yet.
Biggest question for the Hoosiers going forward is how healthy will they be? We know Michael Penix still week to week. Jack Tuttle undergoing further evaluation tonight. He is, I would say, questionable right now, and then still the secondary is banged up. This is a team that they're really stretching the depth chart. Then for Noah Harrison, I'm Will Trubshaw reporting for IUS TV Sports. Again, the final score, 54-7. Ohio State, the big winners tonight.
The Hoosiers were still winless in the Big Ten play after going 6-2 last season. Indiana needs a win at Maryland this week to keep their dreams of a bowl game alive. Be sure to follow Will and Noah for the latest on the team.
The Indiana men's soccer team continued its win streak this past Sunday. The Hoosiers had to wait until the dying minutes of the second overtime to take down Wisconsin. Our men's soccer beat reporter, Ta Lau, has the recap.
3-hour rain delay, wet field conditions, chilly weather at kickoff, no problem. Tommy Mihalik's header in double overtime secures Indiana a 1-0 win over Wisconsin and puts the Hoosiers in pole position to win a 4th consecutive Big Ten regular season title. The Super Sunday Conference matchup was originally scheduled to be played at 1 p.m. However, due to heavy rain and poor pitch conditions prior to kickoff, the game was postponed to 4 instead. Indiana made just one change to its last outing against Evansville. In the first half, the Hoosiers lacked creativity going forward. They were limited to only 2 shots. It was actually the visitors who came closest to breaking the deadlock. The Badger dangerman Andrew Akindele led the way with 3 shot attempts in the half. However, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week Roman Salentano prevented anything from going past him, resulting in both sides heading into halftime level. As the sun started shining in the second 45, the Hoosiers added more quality going forward, thanks to Victor Becerra. The reigning Mac Herman Trophy runner-up came closest to breaking the deadlock. At the 70th minute mark, substitute Nate Ward had a chance to win it. With both sides unable to find the back of the net, it was only fitting that overtime would decide the winner. Finally, with just 4 minutes left on the clock in second overtime, freshman Tommy Mahalik netted his 5th goal of the campaign.
Great ball in by Witt. BB got on the end of it, back post, floated over to Muni, and I knew once Muni got the head on it, it followed me, and I was there at the right time and got it. This one's probably a favorite to win the game, and nothing's bigger than that. Huge win versus Wisconsin, good team, so gives us a lot of confidence and momentum going into this final week of the regular season.
For IUSTV Sports, I'm Ta Lau.
The team will have their regular season finale this Sunday at Maryland. A win for the Hoosiers will secure a 4th consecutive Big Ten regular season title.
The Indiana women's soccer team had a tough ending to their last 2 games this past week. The Hoosiers were without starting goalkeeper Jamie Gerstenberg and forward Gabby Rennie, as they both were called up to their respective national team. Last Thursday, the Hoosiers fell to 9th-ranked Rutgers 2-0. The Hoosiers' back line was led by seniors Megan Wampler and Caitlin Arbuckle, who stepped in for Gerstenberg. Even with the somewhat solid performance, the Hoosiers still fell 2-0 offensively. The Hoosiers recorded 6 shots but were unable to convert any. On Sunday, the Hoosiers headed to West Lafayette to take on the 18th-ranked rival Purdue. A strong first-half performance saw the Hoosiers going into the break with momentum, but IU could not combat the halftime adjustments by Purdue in the second half. With the results, IU dropped down to 9th in the Big Ten, falling short of the Big Ten tournament. IU head coach Irvin Van Bennekamp spoke about the negatives and the positives after the match.
Tough one because I thought we played well. I thought we played really well up to the goal, and thought we had the better chances. We dominated the game, created a free play in midfield, and thought we played very well. And unfortunately, we didn't capitalize on one of the chances. I honestly thought we were going to get one and close out the game, and I thought we were the better team and really dominated for the first 75 minutes, and a counter goal. And unfortunately, we got to finish our chances, and we created our chances. And but proud of the team, how we played.
IU ended their season with a 9-5-4 record and the 3-4-3 in the Big Ten. IU women's soccer will not be back in action until next fall, but follow along with the off-season updates from IUSTV Sports.
The Indiana volleyball team had a thrilling 5-set victory against Rutgers on Sunday. Our very own Brianna Baylog and Josh Bodie have the highlights from the match.
The Indiana volleyball team picked up a big win today against Rutgers. It was a 5-set nail-biter. And Coach Aaron mentions that one person stood out to him today, which was Brianna Edwards. She tallied up 27 kills and had the solo block to win this match. He also mentions how her last performances, as well as tonight's, have been outstanding.
I think she takes it really serious. She cares. She wants to be a professional. She's certainly showing that she can hang with some people in the conference, and she's had good numbers now over the last few matches. Even though we haven't had competitive success, she's been getting better and better. So that's going to be important down the stretch for the last 10 matches.
Brianna mentioned the solo block by Brianna Edwards to win the game in the 5th set. That capped off a 6-0 run to win the game. Take a look. Indiana had a lot of service errors today, but they also picked up a lot of aces. Paula Sarami had a lot of misses earlier in the game, but Coach Steve Aird praised her mental toughness as she was the server on that 6-0 run.
The most important thing is Paula had struggled from the service line, so she showed a lot of mental toughness to keep the ball in play and put pressure on them.
The Hoosiers are now 3-7 in Big Ten play, and the Hoosiers will be back here in Wilkinson Hall Wednesday and Saturday, where they'll be playing Minnesota and Northwestern. We've been Brianna Baylog and Josh Bodie for IUSTV Sports. Back to you in the studio.
The Hoosiers are now 9-13 on the season. The team will be at Wilkinson Hall again this Sunday, where they will take on Northwestern at 7 p.m.
Coming up after the break, we crown this week's Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week.
And we have the latest on field hockey, cross country, golf, and women's tennis. You're watching Hoosier Sports Night.
Welcome back to Hoosier Sports Night.
Joining us in studio for this week's Hoosier Highlight is IUSTV sports reporter Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel?
Thanks, Kevin and Lauren. This week's IUSTV Sports Hoosier Highlight Athlete of the Week is none other than men's soccer forward Tommy Mahalik. With 4 minutes left in double overtime, Ryan Wittenbrink crossed the ball from the left side of the field to Brett Beebe, who redirected it to Daniel Muni. Muni headed the ball into the area of Tommy, who capitalized on the play by spearing the ball into the back of the net to help the Hoosiers defeat Wisconsin 1-0 and keep their 6-game winning streak alive. With the win, Indiana now controls its own fate, and if they defeat Maryland on the 31st, they'll once again be Big Ten regular season champions. Tommy had 3 shots on goal for the day and came up clutch with the final one. He now leads the team in shot attempts with 34 and is currently tied with teammate Victor Becerra with 5 goals. At the post-game press conference, Tommy said this one's probably a favorite. The star freshman already has a couple of accolades under his belt, the first being named Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, along with being named to Top Drawers Soccer Team of the Week, following a big game against Notre Dame where he knocks 2 goals. The sky seems to be the limit for Tommy Mahalik. Glad he's a Hoosier. Back to you.
IU field hockey had a great weekend, winning games both Friday and Sunday. The Hoosiers started off strong with a 7-1 win Friday over St. Louis. IU remained offensively strong, having a 9 penalty quarters and making 25 shot attempts. IU's Mary Kate Kessler, Megan Dillon, Kira Kurland, Kayla Kiewak, Maggie Carter, Anna Gwazinski, and Haley Couch all scored to help the Hoosiers seal the deal. On Sunday, the teams traveled down to Athens, Ohio, where they defeated the Ohio Bobcats 3-0. IU had a slow start but picked things back up in the second half to finish out the game strong. Vit Van Wonderen scored a goal, and Haley Couch scored 2 to help the Hoosiers bring home a victory. The field hockey team will be back in action on Halloween at 1 o'clock to face off against the 6th-ranked Northwestern Wildcats in Evanston, Illinois.
The IU women's tennis team sent 5 players to the ITA Ohio Valley Regional Championship this past weekend at Middle Tennessee State. In the singles draw, Seda Hernandez and Alexandra Stejkulescu had early exits in the opening rounds. Laura Schneider and Laura Masek both lost in the round of 32. In the doubles draw, the Hoosiers found lots of success, with Stejkulescu and Hernandez going 1-1 in the main draw. The team of Laura Masek and Laura Schneider went 8-0 to claim victory in the tournament in convincing fashion, winning the finals 6-3, 6-2. The 2 qualify for the ITA National Fall Championship on November 4th. The Hoosiers will travel down to Tuscaloosa this Friday for the Alabama Classic.
The Indiana cross-country teams will head over to Penn State this Friday to compete in the Big Ten Championship. The top 5 teams in the Big Ten right now consist of Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, Indiana, and Michigan State. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota are coming into the race in the top 30 in their current rankings, being 10th, 15th, and 29th in the nation. As for the women, the top 5 teams are Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, and Indiana. All of them are ranked in the top 10 in the region, with Michigan, Michigan State, and Wisconsin all being in the top 3 teams.
Now, joining us in studio with the Candy Stripe Calendar Report is IUSTV sports reporter Christian Oates. Christian?
Thanks, guys. I'm Christian Oates with the Candy Stripe Calendar to preview everything going on in IU sports this weekend. Friday through Saturday, both the men's and women's swim and dive teams will be heading to Columbus, Ohio to compete against the likes of Ohio State, Virginia Tech, and Penn State. Also on Friday and Saturday, the women's tennis team will be in action in Tuscaloosa to take part in the Alabama Classic. The team is looking for continued success after last weekend's ITA Regional Championships. To cap off Friday, Indiana Cross Country is planning on making a big splash at the Big Ten Championships. The event takes place on the Penn State campus in University Park, Pennsylvania. The Hoosier football team is hoping to shake off their 3-game losing streak this Saturday as they take on the Maryland Terrapins. Game time over in Maryland is 12 p.m. The women's volleyball team will be keeping it here in B-Town Saturday when they take on the Northwestern Wildcats at 7 p.m. This will be their last match of their homestand before they face off against Iowa in a week. There will be more big matchups on Sunday when the men's soccer team battles the Maryland Terrapins at 1 p.m. They are seeking to clinch another Big Ten regular season crown and have all the momentum heading into the Big Ten tourney. And finally, the IU field hockey team will travel to Evanston, Illinois to challenge the number 6-ranked Northwestern Wildcats at 1 p.m. This is also their last matchup before the Big Ten field hockey tournament. And that is all of the sports action taking place this weekend. Good luck, Hoosiers, and now back to you at the desk.
And that's our show for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at IUSTV Sports. For our production crew behind me, I'm Lauren Boer.
And I'm Kevin VERA. We'll see you next week.